Okay, so let's jump right in. I want you to imagine something. What if you, just one person, could have the power of an entire company? I mean, the whole shebang. Well, that's the big promise behind this new tool we're looking at today. It's called DIY CEO, and it claims it's going to completely change how we work, build, and chase our ambitions.
And they kick things off with this statement, which, wow, it really hits on what we're all a little nervous about with AI, right? The idea isn't to replace you, not at all. It's about amplifying you. It's supposed to make you, well, kind of superhuman. So it's not taking over your job, it's designed to multiply what you can do.
So what is this thing really? The fancy term they're using is an AI-powered office genius. But what that really means is it's designed to turn a single person, yeah, you, into a completely self-sufficient business engine. We're talking everything from that first little start of an idea all the way to getting it out there and marketing it to the whole world.
But, to really get why a tool like this even needs to exist, we gotta talk about the problem it's trying to fix. And honestly, it's a problem I think pretty much all of us can relate to. That feeling of just being completely overwhelmed by modern work.
I mean, just think about your average workday. You're hopping between a dozen different apps, right? You're buried in admin tasks that never seem to end, and you're constantly switching gears from this to that and back again. It's just exhausting. And it's a massive drain on the stuff that really matters, like your creativity and your ability to actually focus.
Sound familiar? I bet it does. Especially if you're a founder or a freelancer or any kind of creator. You know you're not just doing one job. Nope. You're doing all the jobs. You're the big picture CEO, but you're also the one stuck sending out all the emails and, trying to design graphics. And really, this is what that looks like in practice. You're constantly swapping hats, right? One minute you're the CEO, the next you're the marketing person. Then suddenly you have to be the designer. And each of those jobs needs a totally different mindset, different skills, and, let's be real, probably a different piece of software. It's absolutely no surprise we all feel so spread thin. Okay, so how do we fix this mess? Well, the idea here is pretty simple, at least in concept. You take all that chaos and you bring it all together into one single smart system. And as you can probably guess, this is exactly where DI-CEO says it comes in to save the day. And when you see it laid out like this, the before and after, it becomes super clear what they're offering. You go from this tangled web of different tools to just one streamlined interface. You go from that crazy constant switching to a workflow that's actually orchestrated. And the whole point of all this, to free you up so you can actually focus on your big vision. And here's a really important point. A lot of the tools out there today are basically assistants, right? They help you get organized, they send you reminders, but the claim here is totally different. This isn't just about assisting, it's about executing. It's about actively doing the heavy lifting for you. So let's dig into that a little more. How does this whole execution thing work? I mean, how can one system really do the work of a whole office? Well, the way they frame it is pretty cool. It's like you're not working alone anymore. Instead, you're the director, and you have this fully coordinated digital team right inside the system just waiting for you to tell them what to do. And these are basically the departments on your new team. Just think about it for a second. You've got a strategy unit to help you brainstorm business plans, an ops department to manage all your projects, a marketing AI that can just whip up campaign copy and post schedules, heck, even a data analyst to crunch the numbers and tell you what's actually working. It's like the whole business lifecycle all managed from one spot. And of course, it has to work for how we live now, right? So the idea is that your entire business just goes with you, perfectly synced up across your phone, your tablet, your desktop. It doesn't matter if you're at your desk or grabbing a coffee, there's no friction. You just open it up and get to work. Okay, but let's get to the most important part of all this. What's the real human benefit here? Because it's not just about cranking out more work, it's about changing the way your work actually impacts your life. And this really gets to the core philosophy behind it. For so long, hustle culture has told us that to get more done, you have to sacrifice your personal life, your well-being. This system is built on the exact opposite idea. By getting rid of all that tedious, repetitive work, by automating and streamlining it, it gives you your time back. And first up, that means having time to actually think. To think deeply, to strategize, to have those big ideas that always get drowned out by the daily grind. And then it gives you time back to do the stuff you actually love to do, the creative work, the stuff that only you can bring to the table.
And maybe most important of all, it's about getting back the time to just live, to disconnect, to recharge, to have a life that isn't all about work.
So what you end up with is this fundamental rebalancing. That whole idea of work-life balance stops being this impossible dream you're always chasing. Because you've changed the very structure of how you work, it goes from being just an idea to something that's actually real.
Okay, so if we zoom out for a second, this is about more than just making one person more productive. It's being pitched as a kind of blueprint for a whole new way of being an entrepreneur. The vision here, it's much bigger than just another app. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how businesses are even built and run. It's about giving one single person the power to have the impact of like an entire skyscraper full of people. And the term they use for this is a new operating system for ambition. So what does that even mean? Well, it means you no longer have to pick one. You don't have to choose between being fast and lean or being powerful and sophisticated. It's a system designed to give you both, the incredible speed of a single person, but with the power of a huge company. And this quote, this really just nails it, doesn't it? It's a three-part promise. Your ideas get momentum, your time gets protected, and your life gets balance. That is a pretty amazing combination. So that leaves us with this one last really big question to chew on. When you remove all the typical barriers to building something great, the lack of time, money, and just how complex everything is, what happens then? What kinds of new ideas finally get a chance to see the light of day? What amazing things are going to get built when the only thing holding you back is your own ambition? It is, for sure, a pretty wild future to think about.